Welcome, thrill seekers and paranormal enthusiasts, to our journey through the macabre and mystifying. Tonight, we're diving headfirst into the shadowy abyss of the unknown, exploring the 15 most haunted places on Earth. These are not just stories, these are real places, filled with real energy, real fear. Brace yourselves as we uncover spine-chilling tales of ghosts, ghouls, and uncanny happenings that will leave you questioning what lies beyond the veil. We begin our journey in Amityville, New York, at 112 Ocean Avenue, a seemingly ordinary house with an extraordinary darkness. In 1974, this unassuming dwelling became the site of a horrific massacre, a family brutally murdered in their sleep. The Lutz family, who moved in shortly after, fled in terror after only 28 days, driven out by a series of terrifying paranormal events. Green, oozy slime seeping from the walls, levitating objects, and the chilling sensation of being touched by unseen hands. The most disturbing detail? The Lutzes claimed an evil presence would wake them night after night at precisely 3:15 a.m., the same time the murders had taken place. Next, we travel to San Jose, California, to a sprawling mansion frozen in time and shrouded in mystery, the Winchester Mystery House. This architectural enigma, with its twisting corridors, staircases leading to nowhere, and doors opening into brick walls, wasn't built for the living, but for the dead. Sarah Winchester, heiress to the Winchester rifle fortune, was convinced that the spirits of those killed by her family's rifles were haunting her. Driven by fear and guided by a medium's advice, she embarked on an unending construction project, believing the constant building would appease the spirits and keep them at bay. Our journey takes us deep into the French countryside to the Château de Brissac, a magnificent castle with a dark secret lurking within its walls. Legend has it that the Green Lady, the ghost of Charlotte de Valois, haunts the castle, a tragic figure forever bound to the place of her demise. Charlotte, the mistress of King Charles VII, was brutally murdered by her husband Jacques de Brissac upon discovering her infidelity. Now her spectral form, said to have chillingly empty eye sockets, wanders the castle, her presence most strongly felt in the tower room where she met her untimely end. Visitors report feeling a cold touch, hearing whispers on the wind, and seeing the fleeting glimpse of a green figure out of the corner of their eye. Chapter 4, Bhangarh Fort, Cursed by a Sorcerer's Fury. We cross continents to India, to the ruins of Bhangarh Fort, a place so permeated with fear that even the Indian government forbids entry after sunset. Legend claims the sorcerer, madly in love with the princess, cursed the fort after his love was unrequited, vowing that no soul would ever find peace within its walls. Locals and visitors report chilling occurrences, disembodied voices whispering on the wind, shadows moving in the dead of night, and most terrifyingly, unexplained disappearances. Chapter 5. The White House, Whispers of Power and Pain. Even the most powerful address in the world isn't immune to the presence of the unseen. The White House, the very symbol of American democracy, has its own share of ghostly tales. Over the years, residents and staff have reported unexplained noises, cold spots, and even full-bodied apparitions. Abraham Lincoln, perhaps the most famous ghost, is said to appear in the White House, his presence a comforting yet unsettling reminder of the past. Chapter 6. Ancient Ram Inn, a portal to the demonic. Our journey into the heart of darkness takes us to Watton-under-Edge in England, to the ancient Ram Inn, a 12th century inn with a sinister past that chills to the bone. Legend claims the inn sits upon a pagan burial ground, a place where ancient rituals and sacrifices took place. Guests have reported horrifying apparitions, the feeling of being choked by unseen hands, and a pervasive sense of dread. The most disturbing room, known as the Witch's Room, is said to be a portal to another dimension, a place where the veil between our world and the demonic realm is thin. Chapter 7. Poveglia Island, Echoes of Madness and Death. Off the coast of Venice, Italy, lies a small, unassuming island shrouded in mist and mystery, Poveglia Island. This seemingly tranquil island harbors a dark and tragic past, its history stained with death and despair. Used as a quarantine zone for plague victims in the 14th century, the island became a dumping ground for the sick and dying, their bodies burned in mass graves. Centuries later, it became home to a mental asylum, where patients were subjected to horrific experiments and torture. Now abandoned and decaying, Poveglia Island is said to be haunted by the tormented souls of those who suffered and died within its shores. Chapter 8: Myrtles Plantation, The Poisoned Legacy. Deep in the heart of Louisiana lies Myrtles Plantation, a stunning antebellum mansion with a sinister secret hidden behind its grand facade. This plantation is said to be haunted by the ghost of Chloe, a slave who, according to legend, poisoned her master's family. Visitors and staff have reported seeing Chloe's apparition, a young woman in a green turban, staring at them from windows or wandering the plantation grounds. Chapter 9: Raynham Hall, The Brown Lady's Sorrow. We return to England to Raynham Hall, a grand manor house forever linked to one of the most famous ghost photographs ever captured. This chilling image, taken in 1936, appears to show the spectral figure of the Brown Lady descending a staircase. Legend has it that the Brown Lady is the ghost of Dorothy Walpole, sister of Robert Walpole, the first Prime Minister of Great Britain. Confined to the house after an affair with a local lord, Dorothy died under mysterious circumstances, her spirit forever bound to the halls of Raynham Hall. Our next stop takes us to sunny San Diego, California, to the Whaley House, a historic building with a dark side. This house, built on the site of an old graveyard, is said to be haunted by several restless spirits, including Yankee Jim, a thief who was hanged on the property long before the house was built. The Whaley family themselves, whose tragic story unfolded within these walls, are said to linger in spirit form, their presence felt throughout the house. We set sail on the high seas to the RMS Queen Mary, a majestic ocean liner now permanently docked in Long Beach, California. This luxurious ship, once a symbol of glamour and adventure, is now a floating hotel with a haunted past. Over the years, guests and crew members have reported countless paranormal experiences, from unexplained noises and cold spots to full-bodied apparitions. The most haunted area of the ship is said to be the engine room, where a young sailor tragically lost his life during the ship's service. Our journey takes a somber turn as we visit Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, the site of one of the most horrific battles in American history. The Gettysburg battlefield, now a national park, is more than just a historical landmark. It's a place where the past bleeds into the present. Visitors and park rangers have reported seeing apparitions of soldiers, hearing the sounds of battle echoing through the fields, and feeling an overwhelming sense of sadness and despair. It's said that the spirits of those who fought and died at Gettysburg are forever bound to this place, their souls unable to find peace. Chapter 13: Tower of London, where history haunts the present. We cross the pond to London, England, to the Tower of London, a historic fortress with a long and bloody past. This imposing structure has served as a royal palace, a prison, and an execution site, its history stained with the blood of kings, queens, and commoners alike. Visitors and staff have reported seeing the apparitions of some of its most famous victims, including Anne Boleyn, the second wife of King Henry VIII, who was beheaded on the Tower Green. Her headless ghost is said to roam the grounds, her presence a chilling reminder of the tower's dark and tragic past. Chapter 14: Edinburgh Castle, Scotland's blood-soaked fortress. Our next stop takes us to Edinburgh Castle, perched high above the city of Edinburgh, Scotland. This imposing fortress, with its commanding views and strategic location, has witnessed centuries of conflict and bloodshed. Visitors and staff have reported seeing apparitions, hearing disembodied voices, and feeling sudden drops in temperature, especially in the castle dungeons, where prisoners were once held captive. Chapter 15: Eastern State Penitentiary, Solitary Confinement of the Soul. Our final destination takes us back to the United States, to the Eastern State Penitentiary in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. This former prison, once considered a model of penal reform, is now a crumbling reminder of the horrors of solitary confinement. The prison's eerie corridors and cell blocks, once home to some of America's most notorious criminals, are now said to be haunted by the tortured souls of those who were driven mad by the isolation and despair. Visitors and paranormal investigators have reported seeing shadow figures, hearing disembodied voices, and feeling an overwhelming sense of dread and despair. Outroad, dare you enter the shadows? So there you have it, thrill seekers and paranormal enthusiasts, a glimpse into the darkest corners of our world, where history and the supernatural collide. If you're a daredevil who loves ghostly tales and eerie places, these thrilling locations are waiting for you. Venture at your own risk, for these spirits have stories to tell, stories that will chill you to the bone and leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about the world around you.